All right, so today I'm going to talk about the difference between, just sending 100 DMs, for example, or just sending DMs and emails and then just hoping for a response without a real system to, comparing that to building an actual system where you know that for every 100 DMs that you send, you're going to, or emails that you send, you're going to get X amount of, output or results of, interest shown or, calls booked, for example. Okay. So the difference is that or the main thing that I've noticed is that people, a lot of people, when they just get into business and they just hear, you just gotta send DMs or emails, stuff like that. Just like I did in the beginning, I was just sending messages to people. Like I was just trying, and that's totally fine. But there's a point where you need to differentiate what is a, building a real system versus, just sending DMs without really thinking, about the system, about the strategy, and you really want to succeed with, cold outreach or cold outbound systems, which this is what it is. It's how it's called. You have to create a system. You have to know, every step of the way what to do, and then of course create a system where you, as I told you in the beginning, for every 100 messages that you send, you're gonna get X amount of responses. So that is the biggest difference. When you take this as a professional, you're gonna get professional results or professional like results. Okay. If you take this like an amateur, you're gonna get amateur results. Okay. So it's very, very important and crucial that maybe you can start with just, doing it, sending DMs or whatever without a real system in the beginning and maybe get your first clients. You know, I tried to, if that it didn't happen for me, I had to create a system. But I mean, I guess it could help or it could happen. But I would recommend you to start first always with a real system. Okay. Always, always, always with a real system. And then just iterating every single uh, sample size. So the more you get into cold outbound systems, you're gonna realize that it's all about a sample size of 100. Okay, 100 is not as big that it's just, it takes so much volume to have a conclusion, but it's not as little that you can have, you know luck or things out of your control. Like for example, maybe one day something happened, or like, maybe your message was not sent because whatever reason, or maybe this person could have seen it, but this person didn't see it. So like, there's so many like variables that could happen. But when you do it, you go to 100 messages, you eliminate the possibility, of things out of your control happen. Okay, so 100 messages is like the sample size, and you first have to validate a 100 sample size, and then once you have a sample size of 100 that is on point with the right metrics, then you scale the head out of it. Okay, just really scale that system, and you basically print money with it. But it's realistically the most hardest part, or the hardest part of doing an outbound system is that sample size. Actually, testing it, iterating, because it can be a system that takes you 3 months to build. All right, and it's not like a plug and play kind of system. You really need to adjust it to your offer, to your systems, to the way that your people react to your offer. All these sort of things. Those are things that you need to keep in mind when you're doing that. Okay, so I'm gonna try to walk through my computer right now on how I do this, like the actual tactical stuff. And this is not meant to be a masterclass. It's meant to be like a kind of like a opening your eyes, almost like a video to cold outbound systems. And you can get a couple ideas from this video. Fantastic. And my goal with this is going to be for you to start building your outbound systems, you know, this week. Okay, maybe not today, ideally today, but you can do it even this week. So that's kind of what I would like to do. But before, I want to talk about the level of iterations that you need to go through. So as I told you, you are going to be doing this like sample size before you scale. Okay. So every 100 messages, you're going to go for a hypothesis. Okay. So I'm thinking that a Loom video with, screen sharing their profile can be more effective than a copy and paste message. Okay, let's try this. So you send 100 messages with the control group or I'm not sure if that's the control group or the other group that I don't know how it's called, but you do 100 messages, send them copy and paste, the same pitch, and then you send 100 messages with the new system, which is the Loom video screen sharing over their profile. Then with that, you're going to, after you do this 100, and maybe after 3 follow-ups, you're going to essentially compare the data. Okay, so you're going to compare the effectiveness of the copy and paste versus the effectiveness of the Loom video screen sharing over the profile. Okay, so that's a process that just goes time or test and test and test and test and test, and you keep testing. You keep testing. Okay, this is an how do you call it, like the non-ending process where you're just going to test it as much as you can for as long as you can if you want to get a better system. And it's something that you're gonna continue to do and do and do and do for eternity in your business. So you yeah, I would prefer you, I would recommend you to be comfortable doing this and start getting good at it, because it's really the way to get better at this, and to really create this outbound system that is completely predictable, that gives you so much peace of mind to know that for every X amount of messages, you get X amount of results. So that's kind of the iteration. For the metrics that you're going to compare them are going to be things like your booking rate, or starting from the beginning, then moving down the funnel. First of all is like your open rate. If it's an email, if you can see that, that's amazing. Or if it's a DM, I'm not sure how LinkedIn work completely, but I think you can see someone has seen your message. I'm not completely sure about that, but your open rate, your response rate, uh, or maybe response rate slash positive reply, which is more like showing interest. Although that can be also slash interest shown. And then from there, calls booked, and then from there, of course, shows. You cannot really control with these called outbound systems the people who buy the program. I mean, in a sense, you can, if you have a good sales system that is immediately begins after the person books an appointment, and also, of course, depending on the way that you present yourself in the Loop video, it can also change a lot. But for most times, and under all, or most common circumstances, you cannot really control that much, if someone is going to buy at the end of the cold outbound system, because of course the sales system takes place there. Okay, if that makes sense. So those are the metrics that you're going to see. So for example, open rate for every 100, how many open the video or watch the Loom video. um it's a little bit hard sometimes, because when you do it on Instagram, for example, the way I'm doing this right now with the guy that I'm working for, we are sending a native BSL, so a native Loom video. Realistically, it's not a video that I record completely myself. It's like a template that I include a personalized part in the beginning. So there's like the template where I say, also the personalized part where I say, "Hey name, how's it going? This is Diego. I want to quickly introduce myself." Or, "Hey name, how's it going? I want to quickly introduce myself. I'm Diego. I'm part of Arat's team, which is the guy that I'm working for." Uh, and then from there, it cuts to the templates. Of course, this is a very smooth transition. There's like you can barely see that is a video that I carry cuts there. So it's done. Then the template says all of the details of the offer. In this case, we're going for a lead magnets, so something completely for free. It's like a free audit for their business. It's for fitness coaches. So that's kind of the way that we do that part over there. And sometimes, because the way that we're doing it, we cannot really see right now the open rate. So that's kind of like a nail. And in a way, I think we can modify the system to know how many see the message. Just the guy I'm working for is just not open to the idea, or like to the system that I was proposing, which is something I'm gonna be doing myself, in my own business. So, or that I'm doing in my own business. So, of course, the way that I would do that is by telling the person, hey, you know, first sending a message to get out of the request box. Once I'm out of the request box, that message to me could be something like, hey name, is this the right place to ask questions? Simple. I could look like a customer or like a client, potential client, like a lead. And the fitness coach is almost like, uh, almost like guaranteed to reply. Okay. Not all prospects are going to be like that. Like if you reply or if you do cold outreach, consumer cold outreach to, you know, Justin from California who doesn't have a business or anything like that, it, of course, it's not going to work like this. And you have to first send the media, like the room video. But in this case, with your working B2B, business to business, you can send that message. And then once you're out of the request box, you can do something like, sending a message. And now you can see if they have seen the message. Or it's very likely that if they have replied to your message, the first message, that they're going to see the other one. So you have there the open or like the open rates from there. And then from there, the interest shown, again, from every 100, how many shown interest or showed interest. And then from there, how many people booked an appointment. And then from those, how many people actually, showed up to the appointments, to the call, because you're going to find that sometimes they're going to say, yes, please send me the booking link. And they're not gonna, book an appointment immediately, at least, right? If you follow up with these persons or these people diligently enough or with enough diligence, they're probably going to book an appointment. But sometimes they're gonna just say, I'm gonna do it, and then don't do it. That's totally fine, right? It's just the way that it works. But after that, you really compare this and then just go 100 and 100 and 100 and 100, and you're gonna go like almost like trying to find a winner, and they're almost like comparing this winner to another hypothesis. Maybe the hypothesis is going to be wrong, maybe the hypothesis is going to be right, and then you test now the hypothesis, the better, like the champion, to the new hypothesis, and you continue to do this and this and this and this and this until you get a system that is, good enough. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you the metrics here. In fact, I'm gonna tell you right now the way that I think about a good system, and I'm not an expert here at all, but it's the way that I've been learning this, is you want to have a system that for every 100 messages, you at least have, um, at least at the bare minimum, one appointment booked. Okay. Ideally, one client, right, from every 100. So that can mean 2 or maybe 3 people who you send the calendar link, maybe 2 that book an appointment, and depending on your sales skills, of course. But as long as you can get, one client from that, or about, you know, maybe 3 appointments booked from that, that's a great system. And then you don't necessarily need to spend more time testing, and you can just go immediately into scaling mode, and then just do it more and more and more and more. And maybe in the next 3 weeks, you do a test just to see. And if that, you get a champion, you can just, move to that champion and then scale up. Right. It's just a constant process. Okay. Another thing that you have to plan out in your system is in the follow-ups. Okay. So let me see if I can have here, if I have the system right here. Yes, I have it here. So I'm gonna show you, because I personally follow up. There's 2 ways that I follow up, and I'm gonna tell you right now. Hold on a second. Okay, so hopefully you can see this completely right. So this, first of all, there's a follow-up for no reply to the initial video, and then there's the follow-up for no reply to the calendar link. So when they tell me, oh yeah, send me the calendar link, right? So the way I've learned this from Charlie Morgan is that you want to follow up with different or in different ways to break patterns. Okay, so for example, you can check this out. First, we start with sending a voice note or voice notes. I start with, hey name, how's it going? This is Diego. I was just wondering, what do you think about the video that I sent you? Right? Excuse me. And then I say, let me know your thoughts. And then the second one is, hey name, did you get a chance to watch or to check the Loom video? I would love to hear your thoughts. Those are the 2 voice notes follow-ups I send. Those are the first 2, 24 hours, 48 hours after a message. Okay? Then I go for text-based. I go, was it that bad? And like this emoji. Number 4 is thoughts on that video, name. Then I go for memes. So I go for 3 memes. Pablo Escobar, Sorry for the helicopter here, but Pablo Escobar is me waiting for your reply, and then this guy is like sad, right? This is like the the meme. Then I go for number two. Can I send you a calendar link or calendar link with the response or the options here, which is this one that I created for myself. Charlie Moore has a similar one. I just almost like made it for myself. So I'm here with a cowboy hats and almost like looking serious. And I just say, "Can I send you calendar link? Yes, please. Leave me alone. Absolutely, I need time." Right? It's very easy for them to just reply to that. Then we go for trade warning meme. So for me, it's this that I just took from flipimage.com. It's like a website. You can just search it online, and then it's like trade offer I receive, call booked, you receive, get into 5K a month deal. And I just have it like that. Of course, it is a company. How to say this? Like it goes along with a text. So for example, with this, I've been patient. Then with this, I just send this kind of eyes, or sometimes just say something like the $1 million question. Let me know where we are at, because this is like that's kind of a joke. That is like it comes from the $1 million show. I think it's called. I never seen it, but a couple of clips I've seen. And then the trade warning meme. We can just say something like deal, or just gonna drop this here, something like that. Okay. And then last text based follow up. If they haven't replied to this, it's just, "Hey name, how's it going? This is your bro Diego." After following up for I don't know how many times, I'm starting to suspect or think that maybe you're not interested in replying. Totally cool. But if you're tired of posting content every day and getting close to 0 increase a day, just reply okay, and we'll get moving to help you out. Okay, that's the way that I follow up with them if they haven't replied to the initial video. And the number two, if they have not replied to the Calendly, or if they have not booked an appointment from the Calendly, I send them again the same kind of format here or structure, two voice notes. You can check them out. He's hey name, what's up? Does any of the times in the calendar work for you? Let me know. And then number two is, your name, did you get a chance to book the call? What did we get a pencil for today? Let me know. Text based again. Did it scare you off, or did life just get crazy? Number four is, not sure if now's not a good time, or if the Calendly was not or wasn't compelling enough. Then the memes, person with two buttons, and then the text is top decision, which is this one over here. Book the call, continue to post content with no increase. I actually changed it a little bit. Is continue to post content without reliable increase, so they don't get offended. Sometimes people just get offended. Whatever, right? Then I just go for Toy Story showing up, assuming showing. Plus the text, you're gonna drop this here, which is this other meme. Me, or excuse me, when Diego shows you what happens after the auto call, right? And this is me, and this is the prospect, right? And then the last one is skeleton meme. Never give up meme. I'm getting old here. The text is, I'm getting old here. So that is never give up, no matter how long it takes. That's the meme that I sent. And then last one is a last text based, which is, what's up name, Diego here. A follow up's deep and still no reply. Ha ha ha. Totally cool if now's not the right moments. But if you would also like to go from 0 to 8K a month in 2 months, like we helped Lahuru, then we'll make the call worth your time. And that's it. Those are the follow ups. After that, we don't really follow with them. Maybe after 3 months, but not as consistent. So the timing that I'm gonna tell you right now, it is very important, because you don't want to do it every week, because they just lose interest in like so fast. So you want to do this. Let's say you send the message right here. This is the I'm just right here. So we send it on today, which is the 25th of July of 2025, right? So you're going to send the first follow up on 24 hours. I'm gonna right here, so you can take a screenshot if you want to. Okay, 24 hours after. Okay, I'm gonna make it so you can see the time from the last follow up to the next follow up. Okay, so follow number one It's 24 hours after this date. Then after that, you go for follow-up number 2, which is gonna be another 24 hours after following up for the first time. Okay. Then from there to follow the third time, you're gonna wait 48 hours from this time. Okay. From the day you follow up the second time. Okay. And hopefully I'm not making this too complex, but I'll find another way to do this. And then from there, you're gonna do 48 hours from there on, okay, until the 8th one. So 48 hours. Okay, the way I did it, so it was clear for me. It was like initial date, reach out date, and then I go 0, and then the next day 1, 2. Then here I'm gonna hold a date or day without sending, and then this is gonna be the third day that I'm gonna message. Then I'm gonna go another space and go 4. This is a 4-day I'm gonna message or follow up. Another space. 5th space. These space are days that I don't follow up with them, so we can have the 48 hours here between. And then the 6th, another space. 7, another space, and then finally 8. This is a plus sign. So now, to make the math in your head, or actually here in the Miro board, let's say that I follow up with someone today, which is 25th, as I said. I got here the date, so I'm just gonna copy from here. I'm gonna paste it here and make it a little bit smaller. There we go. So I'm gonna just put the dates in every place, okay? Like the following way: 26, excuse me, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. Oh, excuse me. I'm going after. Let's say that this month has 30 days, okay? Then we start with 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. So now I have the times that I have to follow up. So I'm gonna follow up with them. I want to do the follow up number 1 on the 26th of July. Then I'm gonna do the follow up number 2 on the 27th of July. 28th, I'm not gonna do any follow ups because there's a space here that I'm not gonna do anything. The difference between here and here are going to be 48 hours. So no follow ups here. And then 29 is gonna be the third follow up that I'm gonna do. The day 30th, I'm not gonna do anything. The day 1st of the next month, this is a little bit complicated because we just jumped to August, but whatever. I'm gonna do the 4th follow up the next day, 2nd. August 2nd, I'm not gonna follow up. On August 3rd, I'm gonna do the 5th follow up. August 4th, I'm not gonna say anything. On August 5th, I'm going to follow up. It's gonna be for the 6th time. For the day August 6th, I'm not gonna follow up. August 7th, I'm gonna do the 7th follow up. Coincidence here, hopefully. And then for the day 8th of August, I'm gonna follow up. And then the 9th of follow up, 9th of August, I'm gonna follow up for the last time, the 8th follow up of the day or of the system. Okay, that's kind of the way that I thought about it, and it's very easy for me to understand it. So I hope it helps you. That's the way that I do this with all of these systems. You can take a screenshot over here, do it for yourself. If you want to have the website for the memes, you can just go to, honestly, let me show you right here. It's IMG flip, and as you go here, click on it, and then you can just see so many memes here. Let me just like this. For example, let's just take the one which is pretty explanatory, and you can just say here, watching Diego's business videos. Oh, excuse me, like this. Trying stuff on my own. Watching Diego's business videos. Business videos. There we go. And then you just take a screenshot here. Oh, excuse me. Screenshot over here, like this. Of course, make sure that these things don't show up. I use it because I'm doing it fast, but whatever. And then you can just take it and send it over to your prospects. All right, that's kind of the way I do this. Now, to show you the way that I do this in a real time, like with people, actual people here, it's the way. And I'm gonna do it with someone who blocked me, just because I want to show you that it's actually pretty normal that people are going to block you. That's totally fine, right? It just doesn't matter. Like, you're gonna just get you have to have, what is the word, like the skin, rough skin or something like that, right? It's the same, but you have to like make sure that you get used to the feeling of people just blocking you. That's totally fine. So this is the video. It's embedded here, so I don't have to click on this and then just go to I don't know, another website or whatever. Let me just refresh the page so I can open the video. Apologies, I realize I can't see this for some reason. It just doesn't allow me to open this right now. Maybe for my internet connection or other factors, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna show you how it looks like here. To go to the videos, and then to the to my folder here, Outreach Looms, and you can just see the video screen sharing over their profile like this. The video is literally 58 seconds long, and that's it. It's very simple. Okay, good background, of course. Make sure that you look presentable. You don't look like a fucking punk over here. We don't want that. So, in the way that you do this without doing all the manual work yourself, I'm just currently editing a video, but you go to or I go here to my, the way I organize this, or is Darat, and I go for Looms. Oh, I got it here, Looms, and then I go to got three. I'm sorry for the mess over here. I have to fix this, but we have three bins inside this timeline. For prospect, where I do the editing, the actual editing, the timelines for the names. This is something I did before, so I recorded a bunch of names before, like in the pre-production, and then I just have the templates now. So if I have, every single person that I, from now on, that their name is Justin, I can just take that little part of it, like almost template now, and I can just piece them together in a way without needing to record even the personalized part. It's just amazing. But that's something I did before. And then the audios, that is now like, this is the audio, for example, I was telling you. So for Dan, any person whose name is Dan or Danny, I'm just gonna say here in the video, hey Dan, how's it going? This is Diego. The initial part of the video, basically. And the way that I do this in the actual timeline is in the following way. So you can see here, this is the templates for a cold outreach. So this is the bubble. This is like a bubble here. You can check this out. It's a bubble, okay? I edited it, and it's in the upper layer. Then from there, I'm gonna remove the bubble here, and you can see that it's a screenshot. It's actually a PNG or GPNG file. It's a screenshot over here. It's not the real video. I didn't record it. and I just put it below this in, a layer below with this. Make sure that the tabs don't show. This is a mistake that I made at that point. So just make sure it's like this. Okay. And then from there, I just piece together the two parts of the audio, the part where I talk about the templates for cold outreach and then their name. So I got here almost like two, where I piece them together. So I have the Jordan, the name, hey Jordan, how's it going? This is Diego. I want to introduce myself, and then the template, all of the page, basically. And that way, the transition is not. Realistically, what I did is I didn't modify the video, so I just said Justin in the template, and then anytime that I record, like for the audio, I just say a different name. And because it's not noticeable enough in my lips, like nobody's going to read my lips. Maybe zoom in off, you're gonna see that it is not like um synchronize the voice to the, or like the audio to my lips just in the part that I say their names, but in all the other parts it's just completely synchronized and you cannot really see a difference. So that's kind of the way I do it. I have seen very good results and it just saved me so much time. Okay, that's the way you do it on the video editing software. Okay, so now after going through all that technical stuff, hopefully you really like this. People are just going to block you sometimes. That's totally fine, and you just have to make sure that you understand that it's totally fine and it's totally understandable. You have to make sure that you start to get used to it because it's going to happen a lot of times, and there's not much you can do about it, other than just say, fair enough. Let's move to the next one. Just like dating, but if you call approach women, or if you call approach girls, or you talk to girls in your class or in your sports or in your gym, people are just not, some people are not going to be into you. That's totally fine. You know, Sometimes it's just a matter of just volume, and most of the times volume is going to be the solution. So don't get sad if somebody blocks you or somebody used to say something mean. It has happened to me multiple times, of course. But you know, just don't reply to those messages. Just delete the chats, or if you don't want to delete the chat because it's gonna, maybe somebody's going to need to see the text later on. Like if you work with a team, just don't think about it. Or if you think about it, just put it on a piece of paper. Really, just try to make sure that you don't like mind wander about it, because it just leads to nowhere and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, you cannot control anything else, anybody else's actions. You can only control yourself. So make sure that that's on point. From there, I just want to tell you that it really requires a lot of mental um, stoicism, mental resilience to continue to do this day in and day out, day in and day out. Okay, but I can confidently say that if you can just master this, there's nothing that you cannot master. Like nobody wakes up thinking like, amazing, I'm gonna have to do some Loom videos today, or I'm gonna have to follow with voice messages to my prospects today. It's gonna be a good day, right? Nobody's gonna do that. Nobody feels like that, right? So it's really up to you to like just know that it's like the work that you need to do. It's the work that you need to do. You have to be diligent. What is the word? Diligent, diligence, agility. Sorry, something like that, right? Um, when you update the database, when you do the actions, you want to make sure that you are most of the time on point for the follow-ups for the new Loom videos. And if you didn't do the follow-ups for the videos for yesterday, that you do double the next day. Of course, with a maximum of 30 for accounts, initial messages, new. Maybe you can open 7 accounts like I do. I have 7 accounts on Instagram and I just rotate them. If I need to do more than 30 on a day, that's it, okay? And I just want to tell you lastly is that if you are a coach here and you're doing this for yourself, or probably nobody's going to be here working that is an employee, but if you're a coach or you're a business owner here that you're doing it for yourself, just understand that the payoff at the end of this process is going to be completely like heaven. It's going to be absolutely one of the best things that you can have in your business, because you have absolute control, absolutely absolute predictability on your income, and you have a proven system that you can scale up, and that's going to work like clockwork every single time. All right. So just understand that part. Understand that if you continue to be there every single day, you're going to get a result that is, it's just amazing. Okay. It's really, really good. I've noticed that if you have that system, like you can just wake up and say, we're going to do 100 DMs today and we're going to get a client. And at this point, it's just a matter of like modifying from the level of this variable, this formula of like output, input, just cranking up the input, and then you're gonna crank up the volume or the output as well. It's amazing. So understand that it's really, really valuable, understand that it's extremely beneficial, and make sure that you do not outsource this. A lot of people, because it's, it's not nice work. It's not work that a software guy would want to do. You have to go through the trials and tribulations, not necessarily just because of suffering, but because you need to have this proven system, and nobody's going to care as much as you do. It's something that you have to go through this, and then only outsource it when you have a proven system. Okay, which is the most important thing. Now, lastly, just to finish off with the value portion here on the videos or the video, I'm going to show you my database. Do not have a CRM just because I don't think it's necessary right now. But I'm gonna tell you the database that I use for the outreach for Darath, the guy that I'm working for. Okay, and this is a database that I pretty much built from iteration. When I was working with Darath, he just didn't have any. Um, it was just a simple database with their name or the IG username, and that's it. Really, it was not nothing crazy, and I modified it in a way where I can have literally a almost like a in steroids database that I can use every single day, and it's just really, really useful. Okay, so let me show you right now. So this is the database. As you can see, it's pretty large. It's pretty fucking large over here. Let me just fit this to a screen. So you got the IG username. Ideally I wouldn't have that, but because the scraping tool that he had that gave me the most, that gave me the initial leads, have this, gave it only the IG username, not the link. It's just a mess that, I had to create here a formula that takes the username and then in the beginning puts the HTTPS, the beginning of the uh, URL, and then at the end puts a um, slash basically to make the link like this, and it's taking the value from this. So if I delete it, then the link is no longer there. And it's kind of weird, but I have to fix that. But ideally, you're only going to have the link profile, of course, their name. Let me just go up because I'm still working on the data sourcing here. I need to make sure that there's no women here, no old people here, because that's the ICP of the rat that I'm working for. So, for example, you can see here IG username. Let me just zoom in here to the screen a little bit more. So you got here the IG username, then you got the name of the person, their main profile link. And I said main profile because there's also a space here where I can put the secondary profile, which is for some reason coaches, a lot of times they have a business page and then a personal page that sometimes they use both for business, which is weird, but whatever. And then I make sure here they are online coach, either face-to-face coach, or if they are an influencer, because I have different BSLs for these different types of prospects. All right. Then I make sure I have here the notes. The way you format the notes, correctly is you go here, right click, insert note. You do not write on the cell in itself. You go here and then you put the date. So that's July 27th or 5th, excuse me, of 2025. And then you go, he told me to fuck off. I'm very sad, but Diego told me to keep going. All right, something like that. Of course, I'm gonna delete this because that's not real. And then I got also the other column, which is reach out accounts. So which account do I reach out from? I got 7 accounts. one, two, three, four, five, six, seven accounts. So I don't have a problem there. I just click the one, so I later on I can just do the follow-ups, knowing exactly where I have to click or on which account. And then I go for the next column, which is status. So I got a couple of things here: reach out, not reach out, and then I put the reason why on the notes. Blocked by him. So if people block me, people I'm recording the looms for said I'm good, and I put the reason why or what exactly on the notes. Interest shown, not allowing DMs unless he follows me. That's something very normal on Instagram. And then restrict the profile. 18 plus. I'm 19, so I think it's 21 plus can only see that. So I'm 19, so I cannot really see the profiles. And my accounts are set for that I'm 19 years old. So whatever. That doesn't happen most of the times, but it still can. Excuse me, it still can happen. The next column is contact date. So I go here in the calendar. Where's the contact date? And then I have the formulas here. You can copy the formulas. The equal sign. And then let me just zoom here. Let me do this. There we go. So you can see it is this is the equal sign for the formula. And then you got the actual cell that you're going to take this from. So for me is this. So I'm going to take the value from this one over here, and then I'm going to go for adding the plus sign and then plus one, meaning that it's going to add another day to the dates. As you can see here is July 18th of 2025, and this is July 19th, 2025, okay? And I do the same. This is the other formula for follow number 2. It's just 2 days. For follow 3, it's 4 days. Follow-up number, let me zoom out so I can see. Follow-up number 4, 6 days. Follow-up number 8, excuse me. Follow-up number 5, let me, so you can see here way better. There we go. Let me just go back from the beginning so you can copy and paste these formulas in your own database. Okay. And like this. All right. And then every single day, you're going to go here. And in your database, you're going to go Command F or Control F. This thing appears. So you're just going to click or go for current date. So it's July 25th of 2025. 25. And then you can see the amount of actions you need to take today. Assuming I read it incorrectly here. The amount of actions that needs to be done today. Right here, you're gonna see one out of. Let me see why this is not showing. Assuming I just saw is I have to remove the 0 over here. And now you can see the dates that I have to do this. So it is exactly 123 actions I have to take today for follow-ups number 7 and other follow-ups over here. For example, for other prospects, I have to do follow-up number 4 for the meme. And yeah, that's it. Okay. You can see this, and then you go one by one, and then you do the actions. And this is almost like a daily thing. You can go here, put the date, and then you do the actions one by one by one. This is a small process, or like this is a hard process, but man, the result you're gonna get from this, fucking amazing. And just thinking in systems, this helps you so much in life. You also want to make sure that you put all of your medias on a drive that are secure and that you can share to your team members. Things like the memes, things like the templates for the Loom videos, things like the pre-recorded names or initial part of the Loom videos, so that you can share it to your team, or just have them safe, excuse me, and easily accessible for your team members. All right, that's it. I'm thinking if there's anything else I want to show you, or if there's anything else I have to show you for you to learn the cold outbound system I'm running. I don't think there is. So I am just going to tell you to have an amazing day. Bye.